threat has stopped.
Okay, and in the course or the simulations, when does that occur?
That occurs a lot of times when the individual's laying on the ground and not moving anymore.
Okay. Now, just because the individual or the target or what have you in the course is laying on the ground, that no longer poses an immediate threat, correct?
Correct.
But that person still could be a threat, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Why in situations involving critical incidents or any situation involving civilians, why is the suspect always handcuffed at first in the detention aspect?
It's a lot of policy and procedure, but it's for the officer's safety.
Officer safety because the person may have access to a weapon or something like that, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. No matter how bad it looks, that's what officers are trained to do in that situation.
Yes.
You've gone through training on that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have to train on a yearly basis, or how often do you have to retrain, so to speak?
For firearms, we train twice a year.
Okay. And then with regards to, you talk about policies, the prosecutor asked you about, there's policies specific to Blendon Township, correct?
Correct.
Okay. That doesn't mean those are the same policies in Columbus or Minerva Park or Westerville, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. There is one general theme that you learned in Opata based on Graham v. Connor, correct?
That's correct.
And that's if an immediate threat to an officer of serious physical harm permits that officer to respond with deadly force, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. That's the same all over the country.
Yes.
Just because your policy is one thing doesn't mean that in another state that's the same policy.
That's correct.
Okay, all right. And with regards, you've reviewed the body worn camera from Sergeant Moynihan. You reviewed that prior to coming today, right?
Yes.
How many times?
I honestly don't have a number for you. I mean, it's multiple times.
Lieutenant, did it ever get less damaging to you, or less? Did you ever feel less sympathy or empathy for that situation each time you've seen it?
No.
It's brutal to watch that, right?
Correct.
Even in your 15 years of law enforcement, every time you see that, it makes you feel a certain way, right?
Correct.
Based on your training and experience, Lieutenant, is there anything after the car goes towards the Kroger that goes into an analysis of use of force?
Mark, please start that over for me.
Is there anything based on your training, Lieutenant, that once the car went towards the Kroger and they chased after it, is there anything that would go into an analysis of use of force after that fact, Lieutenant? Is there any credible evidence that you would use, the recitation or anything, would any of that go into analysis of use of force? It wouldn't, would it? Because it all happened after the use of force, correct?
Correct.
There's absolutely no evidentiary value of anything after that car being stopped, correct?
Correct.
Part of use of force is with regards to vehicles, correct?
Correct.
You're trained on how to approach vehicles. You're trained on how to approach cars, correct?
Correct.
You're to believe that in a car, well, now that there's open carry, how do you approach a car based on your training and experience?
Is this traffic stops or what?
Yeah, let's just do a regular traffic stop.
Usually on back behind him, B pillar, stand where you can see him.
All right. And in order to stop somebody, you need reasonable articulable suspicion, correct?
Correct.
And in order then to potentially detain someone or file a charge, you need probable cause, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so that's the lawful thing you need in order to write someone a summons or take someone under arrest, correct?
Correct.
Just because there's an allegation made, your duty is to investigate it, Lieutenant, right?
Yes.
And part of that, if you have probable cause to arrest, you have a duty to then place that person in custody and arrest them.
Correct.
Are you going to let them leave?
No.
Okay. It's your job to continue to pursue that, correct?
Correct.
Now, based on your policy that the prosecutor talked about with regards to use of force, there's a use of force both non-deadly and deadly, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And if an officer perceives an imminent threat of serious physical injury or death, they're trained to respond with deadly force, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, in a situation, there's every critical incident is unique in and of itself, correct, Lieutenant?
Correct.
Okay. And in those situations, there's also an aspect about a moving vehicle in your policies, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And in a moving vehicle, in terms of if a moving vehicle vehicle's coming at an officer, that doesn't mean the officer, if they perceive a imminent threat of serious physical injury, that means they're still allowed. You guys have a phrase in it, if I'm not mistaken, when feasible, they're supposed to try to get out of the way, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. When feasible, because there are going to be certain situations that the directives have been contemplated that you might not be able to get out of the way, correct?
That's correct.
Based on everything you saw, is there any way that Connor Grubb was going to get out of the way of that?
Objection, Your Honor. He's asking him to stand in the place of the jurors.
You want to approach? Continue. May I proceed, Joe? You may. Thank you. I'm going to try to get the exact question right. Based on your review of the video, your training, your experience, and what you observed on the video, was there any way feasible for my client to get out of the way of that car? Did he have the time to do that?
He did not.
There's nothing in the policy that says you have to allow the car to hit you before you can fire, correct?
Correct.
Doesn't allow, you don't have to be run over before you can use deadly force, correct?
Correct.
You're trained that a car can be used as a deadly weapon towards an officer, correct?
Correct.
That's one of the most important aspects of training police officers in these simulations, in order to get them to try to anticipate actions, right?
Correct.
You're taught and trained to anticipate actions because an action is faster than a reaction.
That is correct.
You would agree with me that the #1 cause of serious physical injury to officers and death is are cars, not guns, by civilians, correct?
That is correct.
And a car, based on your experience, is capable in imposing serious physical injury to someone even at a slow rate of speed, correct?
Correct.
Now, based on your experience and training, I'm sure, Lieutenant, especially when you were a patrol officer, you encountered people who didn't comply sometimes, right?
Correct.
Sometimes compliance is because of maybe the state they're in, maybe intoxicated or something like that.
Correct.
Sometimes the compliance is because they're upset about something, correct?
Correct.
Do you have to worry about why they're not complying, or are you focusing on the compliance?
You're focusing on the compliance.
If they don't comply, what is your thought process at that point in time, Lieutenant?
Which next level we're going to have to use to gain compliance.
Okay. Now, there's different ways to gain compliance, correct?
Correct.
And there's a use of force continuum, right?
Yes.
Sometimes that use of force continuum goes from the bottom to the top in a matter of seconds, correct?
Yes.
All right. And you're trained on that, right?
Yes.
And with regards to officers are supposed to de-escalate a situation, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And again, you try to do that in certain situations, right?
Yes.
Okay. And have you ever used vulgar language to try to gain compliance?
I mean, I'm sure I have over the 15 years.
Have you ever had to draw your weapon in order to gain compliance?
Yes.
Okay. Is that a form of trying to get their attention, trying to gain compliance?
Yes.
Okay. And you didn't fire because there was no deadly threat or of serious physical injury to you, correct?
Correct.
And just because you draw a weapon doesn't mean that you're gonna fire it, right, Lieutenant?
That's correct.
That's every law enforcement officer's across the country nightmare, is being placed in that situation where you draw a weapon and then you perceive a threat, correct?
Correct.
Now, I know your force is smaller, but sometimes you guys work in groups, correct?
Correct.
A partner, so to speak, or two officers to a call?
Yes.
Okay. And could you explain to the ladies and gentlemen, if you can, when the first officer's there, the first officer versus the contact officer versus the cover officer, could you explain that to the ladies and gentlemen?
To explain contact and cover, what
Yes,
the rules
sir.
are. So contact officer is the one that's focused on the suspect. Their direct attention is on them, talking to them. The cover officer's responsibility is to make sure that that contact officer is safe and looking around to make sure the surroundings are safe as well.
Your Honor, may I have the elbow belt? I'm going to approach the witness first. May I approach? Okay. I'm handing what's been marked for identification purposes as Defendant's Exhibit D. D as in dog. Could you take a look at that? Do you recognize that as a still from Connor Grubb's body-worn camera?
Yes.
Okay. And is that a fair and accurate depiction of the view at that point in time?
Yes, it is.
Okay. May I publish this, Your Honor? Okay, so in this picture, and I know you've watched the body-worn camera many times, but in this picture, Sergeant Moynihan here, who I'm pointing to, he would be the contact officer, correct?
Correct.
Now, over here is another citizen, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, would a cover officer stay behind the vehicle?
No.
That wouldn't make any sense because you can't see anything, correct?
Correct.
Explain to the ladies and gentlemen jury why a cover officer wouldn't stand right next to Sergeant Moynihan.
For one, they would have the same view. So a cover officer is not able to see the surrounding around it. Second of all, if there becomes a deadly situation, you may run into a crossfire situation.
And you just said a crossfire, so on the other side of the vehicle, why would a person not be the cover officer there? Due to crossfire?
Correct.
Okay, so the position here in front that Officer Grubb took, now that vehicle's stationary at that point in time in the video, correct?
Correct.
And the position here gives him the most vantage points to see what's going on and to assess and provide cover for the lieutenant, or excuse me, the sergeant, correct?
That's correct.
Hypothetically speaking, if a deadly threat was coming at you and you were 1 to 3 feet away and you perceived a threat of serious physical injury, what does your training and experience tell you to do at that point in time, Lieutenant?
Draw your weapon.
And if you perceive that threat of serious physical harm, are you entitled to fire? Would you fire?
If it's perceived that way, yes.
If you perceive it.
Correct. Yes.
Can I have a moment, Your Honor? Okay. And Lieutenant, based on your experience on with these critical incidents, hitting an officer with a car, that's a serious crime, correct?
Correct.
It's a felonious assault, right?
Yes.
And it's a felony of the first degree because it involves an officer.
That's correct.
And in Ohio, felonies go from 1 being the highest, 5 being the lowest.
Correct.
And then there's different types of theft offenses, right?
Yes.
Okay. And a petty theft, and I apologize because I think I messed this up earlier. Petty theft is anything that's under $1,000 value, correct?
Yes.
Okay. If it's over $1,000, then it becomes a felony.
Correct.
However, a misdemeanor or petty theft can be a felony if the individual resists or uses force, correct?
That's correct.
A petty theft can become a robbery if the person flees afterwards, correct?
Correct.
And a robbery can be a first, second, or third degree felony, correct?
Yes.
And it can become aggravated robbery if they use force that could cause serious physical injury, correct?
Correct.
And that's a felony of the first degree as well.
Correct.
Lieutenant, that's all the questions I have for you right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Could you redirect? Please,
Your Honor, may I approach the
What?
witness? I approach the witness?
Yeah.
Lieutenant Rutherford, I'm handing you what is previously marked as State's Exhibit 4A. Could you please read the section under alternative tactics de-escalation, 300.3.6?
When circumstances reasonably permit, officers should use sorry, or do I need to start over? Okay. When circumstances reasonably permit, officers should use nonviolent strategies and techniques to decrease the intensity of the situation, improve decision-making, improve communication, reduce the need for force, and increase voluntary compliance, e.g. summoning additional resources, formulating a plan, or attempting verbal persuasion.
And could you also please read 300.4.1?
300.4. Is this moving vehicles? Shots fired at or from a moving vehicle involve additional considerations and risks and are rarely effective. When feasible, officers should take reasonable steps to move out of the path of an approaching vehicle instead of discharging their firearm at the vehicle or any of its occupants. An officer should only discharge a firearm at a moving vehicle or its occupants when the officer reasonably believes there are no other reasonable means available to avert the imminent threat of the vehicle, or if deadly force other than the vehicle is directed at the officers or others. Officers should not shoot at any part of a vehicle in an attempt to disable the vehicle.
Thank you.
Yep.
Lieutenant Rutherford, what is the purpose of having the department policy manual?
Everyone's aligned with the same policies and should do everything the same.
And is there an expectation that everyone employed by Blendon Township abides by the policies?
Yes,
And is that why everyone's expected to review them originally and then also review any time there is a change or an amendment in the policy manual?
correct.
And Lieutenant Rutherford, you said you had been with Blendon Township for 15 years, correct?
Correct.
And that's your entire career in law
Yes.
enforcement? How many employees are with Blendon Township Police Department?
Currently right now 10.
10. And is that how many police officers?
Let me think here. I think 7 of those are police officers currently.
And when you're done testifying today, are you returning to Blendon Township Police Department?
Yes.
I'm gonna have a moment, Your Honor. Nothing further. Thank you, Your Honor.
Any questions? Briefly, Lieutenant, the prosecutor, you read a key phrase in there, when circumstances permit nonviolent, correct?
Correct.
In 1.3 seconds or 6 seconds, do circumstances permit anything else in that situation, Lieutenant?
I'm not sure where you're going with that. Rephrase it for me.
You read a phrase that said, when circumstances permit, you should use nonviolent use of force.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And in the video that you watched, and the time from when Connor Grubb was in the front of the car until the commands that were given, was there any circumstances that would allow him to use anything other than deadly force that you observed?
No.
They talk about communicating with a person. If I told you that Sergeant Moynihan asked 8 to 10 times, not asked, ordered 8 to 10 times to get out of the car, is that a form of communication that's nonviolent to the suspect?
Yes.
Did you see any sign of compliance by the suspect after 8 to 10 times of communications in a nonviolent way?
No.
Verbal persuasion was a concept used. Was there verbal persuasion used by both Sergeant Moynihan and my client in that situation?
Other than get out of the car.
Get out of the car, get out of the car, get out of the fucking car.
Yep.
Would you categorize that as verbal persuasion?
It's verbal persuasion.
Was there any compliance with regards to that?
No.
When feasible, that's the question I ask you, right? Would you agree with me that when feasible depends on your position, right?
Yes.
It depends on the amount of time you have to. When feasible, also the time constraint determines whether or not you can get out of the way, correct?
Correct.
If you're standing in in front of the center of a car and the car hits you, do you believe that at that time there's a feasible way to use nonviolent force?
No.
Does your training mandate that you have to respond when you perceive a deadly threat.
Yes,
It's a split-second decision, correct?
correct,
That's what you guys train on, correct?
correct.
Reasonably permit, okay? That reasonable permit doesn't really go along with split-second, right?
Right,
Doesn't go really long with 1.5, 2 feet from the car, correct?
correct.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
You can step down. Any other witnesses on behalf of the state?
Yes, Your Honor. Officer Peter Ferguson.
There's a little maze to walk around here. Little maze, you come all the way around. You raise your right hand. You solemnly swear and affirm under penalty of perjury your testimony in this case to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Have a seat, pull yourself up, close to the microphone.
In a loud, clear voice, can you please tell us your first and last names, spelling the last for the record?
Sure. Peter Ferguson, Ferguson.
Where are you currently employed?
Reynoldsburg Police Department.
In what capacity?
Patrol officer.
How long have you been a patrol officer with the Reynoldsburg Police Department?
Just since February.
February of this year?
Correct.
Prior to joining the Reynoldsburg Police Department, where did you work?
I worked at Minerva Park. Also worked at Ohio Health Hospital as a police officer there. And before that, I was out in Frazeysburg, Ohio as a police officer.
When did you complete an academy?
2020.
And then after 2020, which of those departments did you go into?
Frazeysburg.
How long were you there?
2 years.
And then where did you go?
Minerva. While I was also at the hospital.
When you say you were at the hospital,
I was a police officer for the Riverside Hospital.
so some hospitals might have security guards, some
Correct.
hospitals might have actual police officers. Which of those were you?
I was an actual police officer, a sworn police officer.
And then when did you join Minerva Park?
Would have been 2022, I believe.
What is the size of the jurisdiction of Minerva Park?
It's pretty small. I believe it's just over a half square mile, if I remember correctly.
If you can keep your voice up. I'm
Sorry,
one
yep.
more time. And how many police officers you knew back in August of 2023 did the Minerva Park Police Department have?
I think we had 10 at the time.
And would that be 10 all patrolling at the same time?
No, ma'am. Usually 1 to 2 at the time.
Now, you're gonna have to help me out because I'm not from Franklin County, but where is Minerva Park in relation to Blendon Township?
It would be south of 161. So we kind of butt up to 161, runs east and west. So we're just an adjoining jurisdiction to them.
Okay, so you're in a adjoining jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm.
Where does Westerville fit into that?
I believe they're farther north. I'm not 100% sure where their jurisdiction actually is.
Okay. Because you are a smaller jurisdiction, and would you agree Blendon Township Police Department is a smaller jurisdiction as well?
Yeah,
Okay. Do you sometimes give mutual aid to each other?
we do.
And what does that mean?
It just means if there's a call that an officer or officers from another agency need assistance with, we're allowed to go help them.
And had you done that prior to August 23rd, 2023?
Correct.
Focusing on August 24th, 2023. Do you recall what your shift would have been that day?
I worked 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. when I was at Minerva.
And would you be traveling in a patrol cruiser that's marked for your police department?
Correct.
Were you traveling in that cruiser alone, or was a partner assigned to the cruiser with you?
I was alone.
And then you would have been in a marked Minerva Park uniform.
Correct.
A little different from what you're wearing today, because I think you're wearing your Reynoldsburg police uniform.
Correct.
Is that
Yep.
During your shift on August 24th, 2023, when you're in your cruiser, do you have any ways of getting information about things that are occurring during your shift?
We do.
And how do you do that?
We have a MDT, or a computer, basically, that's connected to all the agencies that we have mutual aid with, or that are dispatched on the same channel.
Would that include Blendon Township?
It did.
During your shift, did you overhear any information that involved Blendon Township?
Prior to the incident,
Yes.
we hear all the radio traffic. Yeah,
So let me be more specific. Do you end up going to the Kroger on Sunbury Road?
I do.
Prior to making the decision to go there, had you overheard anything on the radio that caught your attention about that area?
Nothing that caught my attention. I was also on another call for service in Minerva Park when I believe the original call came out. So I really wasn't paying attention to what was going on there.
What changed that made you decide to go to that Kroger on Sunbury Road?
I heard over the radio, I believe it was shots fired.
Does that elicit a certain response from you as an officer?
Yes.
What is that response?
To go there and help.
And go there, lights and sirens?
Yeah, correct.
Did you know at the time who had made the call that shots had been fired?
I wasn't 100% sure. If I recall correctly, I believe it was just Grubb and Sergeant Moynihan working at the time, so I could have ventured to say it was one of those two.
Prior to August 24th, 2023, had you known Sergeant Eric Moynihan with the Blendon Township Police Department?
Yes.
In what capacity?
Just work. We work together. We pretty much work the same shift, overlapping. So a lot of the mutual aid calls, I would go on with him.
And I have the same question for Officer Connor Grubb. As of August 24th, 2023, did you know of Connor Grubb?
The same capacity.
At that time, as a Minerva Park police officer, were you equipped with a body-worn camera?
I was.
Where on your body would that have been mounted?
Roughly the same place where I have mine
You
set
can
up.
stand up so they can see. And it's mounted to a tactical vest?
It is.
Is that would have been the same for your Minerva Park police?
It's
department?
essentially the same setup I have. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for standing up. Are you aware of whether or not that body-worn camera was functioning?
It was.
Does it record sound and video?
It does.
Had you been to that Kroger at 5991 South Sunbury Road prior to this call?
I have.
For work or otherwise?
For mutual aid calls prior, and also to purchase
Okay.
items.
When you approach that Kroger, is it a kind of a strip mall that it's located in?
Yeah.
What entrance to that strip mall did you take when you?
I believe it was the entrance off of Valley Quail, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that would be the north.
Okay, so if you're looking at Kroger,
So it'd be the right,
To the right.
the right side of the entrance. Yeah.
and when you arrive to that entrance of the parking that includes the Kroger, did you attempt to know where you were supposed to be going to respond?
I think as I was getting off of Sunbury Road from 161, I marked dispatch as to where they were, and I believe they stated they were in the front somewhere.
Once you pulled your cruiser into the parking lot, did any bystanders give you any direction on where you should be going?
They did.
And where were you advised by?
What do you mean? What method?
I mean, was somebody pointing?
I believe somebody pointed. I did.
And then, what are your observations? Do you know if you were the first non-Blendon Township cruiser to arrive?
Can't say for certain.
Were you one of the first to arrive?
I was one of the first to arrive, correct.
And then what did you observe as you pull up in your cruiser?
There was a car kind of into, I guess, the strip mall area, and Sergeant Moynihan and Officer Grubb were, and I believe there was one or two bystanders helping.
Did you see anybody that in your training experience appeared to be injured?
I don't recall if I saw the female or not at that time.
Did you eventually see the female that was injured?
I did.
When you see Sergeant Moynihan and Officer Grubb, by what is your role in this call?
When I realized what was going on, I gathered my crime scene tape to kind of cordon off the area to keep people out.
That's that yellow crime scene tape we would see on TV?
Correct.
And what area were you focusing on at that time to put up the crime scene tape?
Just the immediate area at that time. I wasn't aware at the time that it had happened somewhere else in the car rolled, so I just started to cordon off that immediate area.
How long did you end up being at that Kroger scene? Next morning even?
It was.
And was the crime scene expanded while you were present?
It was.
Second, was the first set of tape taken down or just a second set added on?
I don't recall.
That wasn't your job.
No.
I asked you about your body worn camera, which for the record will be State's Exhibit 5.
Councilwoman approach.
I think we could switch over to this picture. All right, this view is a little difficult to see, but before I hit play, Officer Ferguson, can you just explain to us, because many people maybe haven't seen how the body-worn cameras are recording. First of all, is your system at the time back at Monroe Park, is that the Axon system?
No, it was Motorola.
Motorola, okay, so is that what we see then in the top left corner, Motorola Solutions?
It is.
And is that just the brand that operates the cameras that the police department was using at the time?
Correct. It's the manufacturer of the camera. What is it?
All right, and in the top right-hand corner, there is a time and date stamp. Would you agree it's August 24th, 2023?
Correct.
And then there's a time it's military time, 18:31:25, so do the math for us, what time is that?
6:31 p.m.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to ask you a couple questions. You said that you started putting up some crime scene tape, but while you were out there, did you come into contact with Connor Grubb and ask him any questions?
I did.
And was your body worn camera working at that time?
It was.
So I'm going to advance to counter 51, timestamp 18:32:16, and hit play.
Information.
What are you good?
It's not mine.
Huh?
It's not mine.
Okay.
And I'm stopping at counter 102, timestamp 18:32:27. Who was it that you asked that question of?
Connor Grubb.
And do you see Connor Grubb in the
Your Honor,
court?
we would stipulate to identification as well.
Thank you.
Stipulate.
Okay. And why is it you asked him that question?
I believe I saw blood on him.
What part of him?
I believe it was his left arm and maybe pants.
Okay. And when you asked that, did we see him show you his arm?
I believe so, yes.
Did he point to any other parts of his body when you asked him if he was okay?
I don't believe so.
After you had put up crime scene tape, did you take on any other tasks as an officer out there at the Kroger?
I did.
Okay, and what was that?
I assisted with life-saving procedures.
Would that be CPR?
CPR.
Are you trained in CPR?
I am.
And in your experience, if officers are available, is it common to have to switch out with other officers who are also trained in CPR?
It is.
For what reason?
You get very tired doing CPR, so you want to make sure that you're not too exhausted to give proper compressions.
In this case, did you have to swap in more than once?
I believe I did.
While you were at that scene, were you told to look for any particular persons?
I don't recall.
Okay. Did you end up talking to lay witnesses, citizens out there at the Kroger?
I never interviewed anybody.
Your Honor, are we done with the video? Or are you asking more?
The clip that I played for you, State's Exhibit 5, did that fairly and accurately record what was going on around you on August 24, 2023?
I did.
Did any members from the Westerville Fire Department arrive on scene?
They did.
And would they have taken over the care of the woman once they came on scene?
They did.
Obviously, I only played a short portion of your body-worn camera. It was recording while you were on scene. And
Correct.
I have no further questions.
Okay, cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor.
May I proceed?
Okay.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Officer Ferguson. My name is Caitlin Stevens, and I, along with my law partner, Mr. Collins, represent Mr. Grubb in this action. If at any time you don't understand my question or I go too fast, please just let me know and I'll be sure to slow down and rephrase.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to start and talk to you about general policing concepts. You've said you've been a police officer since 2020, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so, based on your experience and training, in order to investigate someone, you need what's called reasonable articulable suspicion, right?
Correct.
And in police terms, reasonable articulable suspicion means specific facts with reasonable inferences in order to believe criminal activity is afoot. Would you agree with that definition, sir?
Correct.
And you're allowed to draw on your training and experience in order to get reasonable articulable suspicion, right?
Correct.
Now, in order to effectuate an arrest for someone, police officers need what's called probable cause. You would agree with that, right?
Correct.
That standard is higher than reasonable articulable suspicion, right?
It is.
But it still means that facts and circumstances are sufficient that the accused has committed a crime. Yes?
Correct.
Now, as a police officer for the since 2020, I'm sure you've come into contact with dozens, if not hundreds, of suspects, right?
Correct.
Some are compliant, right?
Correct.
Some are not compliant, correct?
Correct.
When someone does not comply, what's the thought process? What are you thinking about next?
Try to find a way to get them.
And if they continue to not comply, you as a police officer, you're permitted to use force in order to gain that compliance, right?
Correct.
You try to de-escalate the situation, correct?
Correct.
Officer presence is a manner to de-escalate a situation, right?
It is.
So if you have one police officer over there and the suspect is not complying, officer presence would mean another police officer, add another police officer in order to try to de-escalate and gain compliance, correct?
Correct.
You would agree with me that drawing your weapon is sometimes used in a manner to gain compliance, correct?
Correct.
You've had to draw your weapon before in an attempt to gain compliance, right?
I have.
You would agree with me that using harsh or vulgar language is also a method to try to gain compliance, correct?
Can be. Correct.
You've certainly had to use harsh language at your time on the police force, correct?
I have.
Now, isn't it true, Officer Ferguson, that when you engage with potential suspects, you have to try to anticipate their actions, right?
Correct.
You try to be one step ahead of what their actions are, right?
Correct.
Your reaction is based on their actions, right?
Correct.
And you would agree with me that you're trained that an action is always faster than a reaction, correct?
Correct.
As a police officer, you're trained in the harm that vehicles can cause, correct?
Correct.
No doubt that a car can certainly be a deadly weapon, right?
Correct.
You're aware that cars are the #1 causes of injuries and deaths to police officers, right?
Correct.
It's not a gun, right? Sorry, you have to
Correct.
answer
Sorry.
out loud.
Correct.
And it's not a knife, correct?
Correct.
Cars are the #1 causes of injuries and deaths to police officers, correct?
Correct.
You know that even a slow-moving vehicle can cause a serious physical injury to a police officer, right?
It can.
It can cause a hip fracture,
Yeah.
correct? A skull fracture, a broken back.
Yes.
Now, you're aware that this state now has open carry and constitutional carry, right?
It does.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what that means.
It means that unless you're a non-qualified adult, you can carry and possess a firearm and conceal it.
So how does that change how you approach a vehicle now?
Personally,
Yes,
I treat every vehicle as if there's a gun in there.
you treat every vehicle as if there's a gun in there.
Correct.
And that's because of the state laws here in the state of Ohio, correct?
Correct.
So you would agree with me that other police officers are trained to anticipate that perhaps that person has a gun in the vehicle, right?
Correct.
You would agree with me, sir, that hitting a police officer with a car is a serious crime, right?
Correct.
You would agree with me that a theft offense, fleeing after that theft offense, and attempting to inflict serious harm on a person is an aggravated robbery in this state, correct?
Correct.
And you would agree with me that an aggravated robbery is in fact a serious crime here in this state, correct?
Correct.
Are you familiar with the phrase contact and cover?
I am.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what that means, contact and cover.
Essentially, if you have multiple officers, one officer is going to be your contact officer who would be speaking with the suspect, and the cover officer would be at a different area, not too far away from the contact officer, just providing cover and overwatch for that other officer.
And if you are a cover officer, your primary goal as that cover officer provide cover to your contact officer, you have to be able to see what the suspect is doing, correct?
Correct.
Hypothetically speaking, sir, if a police officer was standing at the driver's side door of a car making contact with the suspect, you as a cover officer certainly wouldn't be behind the vehicle, would you?
No.
Because you can't see what's going on behind the vehicle, right?
Correct.
You wouldn't be on the passenger side of the vehicle as a cover officer, correct?
Depends. Every situation is different, so
Do you know what crossfire is, officer?
I do, yes.
Well, explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what crossfire means.
So crossfire would be essentially you're shooting at something and you have a partner or other partners or innocent bystanders who are in that crossfire.
So as a cover officer, you want to avoid the possibility of crossfire at all situations, correct?
You always want to try to avoid crossfire, correct?
So in order to cover that police officer, you want to stand in front where you can see, correct?
You could, yes.
Now, Officer Ferguson, if you perceive an imminent threat of serious physical harm or death, what does your training permit you to do?
Use deadly force.
Now, in the academy, where are you trained to aim?
Center mass.
Are you trained to hurt someone?
I'm sorry.
Are you trained to injure someone?
We're trained to shoot until the threat stops.
Shoot until the threat stops. So what's going through your mind is not hurt this person, right?
Correct.
What's going through your mind at the time you fire your deadly weapon is stop the threat, correct?
Correct.
And you're trained to shoot until the threat is stopped, correct?
Correct.
You've participated in shoot, don't shoot scenarios, correct?
I have.
And when you are going through those simulations, a target presents itself, right?
It does.
And when you're in those scenarios, your determination is whether or not that suspect presents an imminent threat, right?
Correct.
And an imminent threat of serious physical harm or death to an officer or to others outside will permit you to respond with deadly force, correct?
Correct.
Just because a potential threat is on the ground does not mean that threat is over, correct?
Correct.
Certainly in those shoot, don't shoot simulations, you've had threats pop back up at you, correct?
They have, yeah.
And so training tells you that after you confront a suspect with deadly force, you still have to handcuff that person, correct?
You do.
And that's for officer safety, right?
Yeah, it is.
And innocent bystander safety, correct?
Correct.
Now I want to talk to you about that day on August 24th, 2023. You arrived after the fact, correct?
I did.
You think you arrived there under 2 minutes?
Roughly correct.
Now, when you first saw the female, you didn't believe that they had originally began working on her, correct?
Correct.
So someone started the compressions while you were there,
Correct.
and you got the crime scene tape up, correct?
I did.
At no point did you ever realize that she was pregnant, correct?
No, ma'am.
You asked Officer Grubb on that video, are you okay? Are you familiar with what officer support is, sir?
Yes.
Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what officer support is?
In very short terms, it's just being there for an officer and making sure after a critical incident that they're okay and they don't need any medical aid or anything really.
And you're trained that that's what you have to do after you know of an officer being involved in a critical incident, correct?
Correct.
Hypothetically, Officer Ferguson, your weapon is drawn and a car hits you. What does training tell you to do in that situation?
Yeah, can you say it again?
Sorry, I went fast.
Okay.
Hypothetically, your weapon is drawn
Okay.
and a car hits you. What does training tell you to do in that situation?
Stop the threat.
And how would you stop the threat, sir?
Fire my weapon and attempt to stop the threat.
May I have a moment, Your Honor?
Amen.
Thank you so much, Officer Ferguson. I have no further questions for you at this time.
Okay, redirect.
Yes, Your Honor.
Officer Ferguson, Ms. Stevens just asked you, you weren't out there at the Kroger when the shooting happened. Would you agree with that?
I was not.
You weren't standing in front of that car.
No, ma'am.
And she asked you about whether or not a car can be a deadly weapon. I think you said yes.
It can't.
And can you stop a car from moving with your body?
No.
And if the car is the deadly weapon, does the threat end because you shoot the driver of the car?
Not, every situation is different, so I can't say for certain.
But hypothetically speaking, if you shoot the driver of the car, is the car going to automatically stop?
It depends where the driver's foot position would be on the pedals.
Is that a possibility in your training experience, that a car would still move forward if a driver is shot?
It's a possibility, yes.
And you were asking questions about covering and crossfire. In your training experience, can bullets travel through and then out of cars?
It can.
Okay, and so if you're shooting through the windshield of a car, are you creating a risk to the people behind the car?
Depends where the shot is fired, I suppose.
Is it a possibility that by shooting into the windshield of a car, that bullet can travel and exit the car?
Sure.
And that wouldn't necessarily be protecting the individuals around the car, would be a threat to them, is that correct?
I can't say for certain. Depends on where the shot is and the manner of the shot, I suppose.
You were asked some other hypotheticals about the car moving forward, but if a car is moving slowly, would you not have time to move aside and not have to use deadly force?
Depends on the situation.
And again, you weren't in that situation on that day.
No, ma'am.
No recustody, Your Honor.
Councilwoman approach. Yeah. Well, hold on, you can step down, I'm sorry. Getting confused with everything up here. There's a little maze around here. You raise your right hand. You solemnly swear affirm under penalty of perjury your testimony in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Have a seat. Pull yourself up close to the microphone. And you may inquire.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Can you please tell us your full name for the record?
Alex William Demidovich.
Can you spell your last name for us?
D as in David, E, M as in Mary, I-D-O-V-I-C-H.
And how do you pronounce that?
Demidovich.
I'm not going to try to get it wrong, but I appreciate that.
Yep.
Can you share with us, sir, where are you employed?
City of Westville Fire.
And how long have you been employed with the Westerville Fire Department?
5 years total, 2.5 full-time.
2.5 full-time?
Yep.
And what's your position there, sir?
Firefighter, paramedic.
Before your employment with Westerville Fire Department, sir, did you have any other prior experience as a paramedic?
Not as a paramedic, I was a EMT.
Okay, and where was that
in Danville,
And where is Danville in relation to Columbus?
just north of Mount Vernon.
How long were you working for Danville?
About 2 years.
Can you tell us, sir, if you know, does Blendon Township have its own fire department?
We cover, City of Westville covers Blendon Township.
Okay, so Westerville Fire Department covers, I guess, fire calls or EMT calls that would come from Blendon Township.
Correct.
As a result of responding to calls within Blendon Township, sir, do you come into contact with police officers that work in Blendon Township?
Yes.
Do you know a Blendon Township officer by the name of Connor Grubb?
I do not.
You've not had any contact with him to your knowledge?
No.
How about a Sergeant Eric Moynihan with Blendon Township?
No.
I want to direct your attention, if I may, sir, back to the date of Thursday, August 24th of 2023. Can you tell us, first of all, were you on duty on that day?
I was.
And you remember, were you working a particular shift? How do the shifts work there at Westerville Fire?
So we work on 24, off 48.
So if you were on duty, you would have been on a 24-hour shift, is that right?
Correct.
And on what time of day does a 24-hour shift start?
We start at 7:30 in the morning.
Do you have specific assignments during a given shift?
We either are on the medic or the engine. We switch back and forth depending on the day.
Okay, now, and I forgive my ignorance on this, okay, but when you say medic, an engine would be fire truck.
Yes.
Not to dumb it down too much,
No.
but
Yep.
just so we all understand.
Correct. Yep.
Can you share with us back on August 24th of 2023, what was your assignment on that day?
I was the in-charge medic of Medic 113.
When you say in charge medic, what does in charge mean?
The guy writing the report,
Okay.
calling the shots of patient care, in charge.
Do you have I guess, a team member that rides with you on a medic?
Yes.
And how many people? So you were the person that was kind of the lead, so to speak,
Yep.
on that particular day.
Correct.
While you were on duty on that date, sir, did there come a time that you received a dispatch or a call out to the Kroger location on Sunbury Road?
Yeah.
And can you tell us, did you respond out to the call, first of all?
We were told to stage at first because we didn't know what was fully going on.
Okay, now, we'll get to that in a moment, but
Yeah.
fair to say that you and your partner would have gotten into the ambulance or the medic and driven out toward the Kroger?
Yes.
Okay. Lights and siren?
Not lights and sirens. Flow of traffic.
I'm sorry?
Flow of traffic for staging.
Did you know what type of a call out it was at that particular time?
Yes.
And what was the information that you had?
Possible shooting.
So you mentioned that you drove out toward the Kroger, and then you said that you would have staged. What do you mean by the term stage?
So we're staged just down the street usually. And once the cops say that we can come in, it's clear to come in, that's when we'll come in.
So who makes the decision of when it's appropriate for the medics to drive into the scene, drive onto the scene?
The officers on scene.
Police officers on scene?
Yep.
So you literally would drive out to the Kroger's, but stop down the road
Yeah.
in a parking lot or on the side of the street until you're told, okay, it's okay for you guys to come in.
Correct.
Any idea how long you would have been staging before being told, hey, it's okay, come on in?
We had no idea.
Were you sitting out there for several minutes?
So we were actually still en route. We weren't physically sitting somewhere. We were coming down Sunbury Road.
When you were told to come in?
Yes.
Gotcha. When you entered the scene, and when I say that, when you drove your medic into the Kroger parking lot, what's the first thing that you observed?
Bunch of police officers on scene.
Okay, there's officers already there,
Yep.
is that correct?
Yep.
And do you get out of the medic then?
Yeah.
Are you the first medic that would have approached the area where the injured individual was?
Yes.
And upon approaching
Laying on the ground in the parking lot
And
against the
were there-
sidewalk.
I'm sorry.
Against the sidewalk.
Were there officers around them?
Yeah.
When you first approached, did you observe any visible signs of injury to was it male, female,
Female.
to the female?
Yeah, we noticed, and the officer stated that she had one injury to the chest, gunshot wound.
Did you, as the medic, provide any life-saving measures there on the sidewalk area?
Yes.
What did you do? What did you attempt to do?
My team and I got her on the monitor, put a tube down her throat to get her airway, and continued CPR.
While you were doing that, sir, did she show any signs of life at that time?
She did on the monitor.
When you say the monitor, help us out. What do you mean by that?
It's the big life pack box looking thing that we have. We can put somebody on we call it a 4-lead, just stickers on you, and it shows your heart rhythm.
Okay, so that's where you take the little pads with the stickers and you stick them onto the patient's
Correct.
chest.
Correct.
And that would read electrical signals of their hearts?
Yeah.
I don't want to put words in your mouth. I just
No,
want to
you're good.
understand
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Yep.
And it's your testimony that there were signs of activity based on that monitor.
Correct.
Was there a decision made to transport the female to the hospital?
Yeah.
And were you involved in making that decision?
Yeah, I made that call.
And what happened at that time?
We got her, made sure she was stable enough to get into the truck, loaded her up in the ambulance, and took off the same hands.
Okay. Now, I'm assuming you're a two-man unit. Someone's driving. Is there someone in the back with the female?
Yeah, so major calls we usually have a fire truck come with us,
Okay.
and that's just more people.
Or people to assist?
Yeah.
Where were you yourself? Were you driving the ambulance? Were you in the back with the female victim?
In the back with the patient.
While you're driving to the hospital, can I assume now you're going lights and sirens?
Yes, correct.
While you're en route to the hospital, did you call ahead to the hospital?
Yes.
And what's the purpose of calling ahead to the hospital?
To give them a heads up of what we're bringing in.
During the transportation to the hospital, were there any additional life-saving efforts, medical procedures that were done with the patient?
We just continued to give advanced drugs and continue CPR and breathe forward.
Did her condition change at all during transport?
No.
And when I say that, it did not improve.
No.
Did she ever gain consciousness while you were with her in the back of the car?
No.
Once you arrived at the hospital, what happened at that point, sir?
We get her out of the truck, bring her in the ER entrance, and there's a bunch of nurses, doctors standing there in the trauma room, and we give over care to them. I tell them my report of what I have, what I've done, and then the doctor takes over from there.
Once the doctor takes over and you've kind of transported or transitioned care over to the medical team at the hospital, do you leave the hospital?
Yes.
You didn't stay there.
We stayed there for a little bit,
And what was the purpose of staying there at the hospital?
just to kind of see what was going on and what was going to happen. Because we were told by St. Anne's that if they had gotten a pulse back, that we would be taking her somewhere else.
Okay. If the hospital would have gotten a pulse back, then it would have been a potential for you as the medic crew to be asked to transport her to a different hospital,
Yes,
maybe one that has a higher trauma level care or something along those lines.
correct.
Did you, while you were there at the hospital, were you notified that any pulse was gained?
No,
Were you notified of anything of the condition that she had passed?
once she had passed, and they called it. Yeah,
And at that point, did you leave the hospital then?
yeah.
Were you involved, sir, in the treatment of anyone else at the scene of the Kroger?
I was not.
Were you ever asked to look at or assess Connor Grubb?
No,
Were you ever asked
No.
You have a moment, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Sir, thank you. That's all I have right now.
Any cross?
Firefighter Timodovich.
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
That's pretty good, yeah.
I grew up in Polish family.
Okay. That's why you got it.
Couple things, when you got there, sir, so I'm a bit confused, but let's clear it up. You didn't have to stage in this situation.
We were told to, but
By the time you got close, there was.
by the time we got close, we were told to come in.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, the jury understands, sometimes when you're called to a scene of a shooting, it still might be live, it still might be active, it still might be fluid.
Correct.
And for your safety, they don't want you coming in that area.
Correct.
So sometimes you have to actually wait until you're allowed in.
Yep.
Here, that didn't happen.
No.
Now, when you first got to the female, you realized that there had been some life-saving measures performed, correct?
Yeah.
I think in your report, you mentioned a chest seal had been applied and things of that nature.
Correct.
And that's part of their duty to do that, correct?
Correct.
Nothing that you saw there, anything, you didn't see anything wrong with anything that was done already, correct?
Correct.
And you realized, I don't know if you remember or not, there was a physician there, or a doctor there
Mhm.
at the scene as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you said you are the boss because you wrote the report, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was firefighter Nick Atkins there that day?
Not on the actual scene of Kroger.
Okay. Was he then asked to assess Connor Grubb?
As far as I believe, yes.
Okay. He wrote a report on that, right?
Yes.
And you reviewed that report being the head guy, correct?
Not his.
Okay. So when the prosecutor asked you, did anyone have you specifically examine Connor Grubb, your answer is no to you.
Yes.
But you are aware, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that someone associated with the fire department was sent to examine Connor Grubb.
Correct.
That person would then take down details and write a report, right?
Correct.
So in theory, if they would put down observations of whether the person was sweating, whether the person seemed out of it, that type of information.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
They would also take note of any injuries of that person, right?
Correct.
And in that situation, they would then make a recommendation of whether or not there should be follow-up care, correct?
Correct.
Now, just because in this Nick Atkins, let's say hypothetically he recommended follow-up care, that doesn't mean the person has to do it, right?
Yes.
But you would want to do follow-up care because obviously you would observe something that would have required that, correct?
Correct.
You also look at whether or not the person is stressed, whether or not the person has flushed skin, all of that information, correct?
Correct.
And you also get a little basic about what happened, right? So
Yeah.
I got hit by a car, right?
Correct.
Okay, all right. I appreciate your time, sir, and thank you for your service.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any redirect?
Very briefly, Judge. I just want to make sure I'm clear. You were not involved in meeting with, assessing, talking to Connor Grubb at all?
No.
No one ever told you they got hit by a car?
No.
That's all I have.
All right, you can step down. Carmen would kill me if I don't take a break. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a 15-minute break. Do not discuss this case among yourselves. Do not permit anyone to discuss it with you or in your presence. It is your duty not to form or express an opinion on the case until it is finally submitted to you.
All rise.
Everyone can have a seat. Gentlemen, I cannot have you sleeping in my courtroom.